Were you excited when you first found out you're going to be feuding with the Undertaker?
Oh man, yeah, I was more than that. Yeah, I was like speechless and just, I mean, nervous, excited, and everything, man. But he's such a tremendous wrestler in person. You know, it was like a blessing being with him. I mean, he's the ultimate professional. You know, I mean, if you can't go in there and wrestle with him and do well, there's something wrong with you. Because I mean, he's the best, and the best guys take a new guy who has talent and the right attitude, and they can like mold you, you know, in ring. Because you can't learn by doing drills. You learn, but it's like, you know, on the job training in the ring in front of 10,000 when the stakes are high. That's how you learn. And you have a good or a great or one of the best teachers like that to help you, hold your hand. Even though they're beating you up, they're still holding your hand, because that's the art of the business. Two guys working together to compete. We're not competing in points, but we're competing at a high level to entertain people, to suspend the disbelief that this is not real. You know, like when you go to a movie and you see The Matrix, well, you know they're not flying around, but that movie takes you away. That's what we do as wrestlers, you know. That's the beauty and the art. When you get in there with Undertaker, and Goldberg said this, we suspend, you know, the disbelief that, well, this is fake. But if you can go to a match and be like, in the match, you're like, man, this is real, you know? That's where the magic is, and that's how people come. And that's what the Undertaker did for me. And a lot of guys did, you know? They fit Finley, and they all taught me. And I mean, it's still, I still can't believe that I worked the Undertaker. That's how it is, man. And I think the world of him. I mean, he's this amazing person. And to be doing it as long as he has, I don't see how he still walks. Because I was in it 12 or 13, 14 years, and from what I did to myself in football, right now at almost 48, I have serious health issues, man. I'm beat up. Some days I can't walk without a cane in my left knee, you know, and you know, they pay a price. Any athlete that goes professional in any sport, you're sacrificing, you know. So I guess I get kind of carried away with the Undertaker thing because I'm really fired up about working him.
Yeah.
It was, I mean,
what did you think of that casket match you had at the Royal Rumble with him?
Oh, it was great. It was cool because I actually had like a deep-seated inner fear for caskets, and it comes out of something horrific that happened to me, but it was something that I drew off of that made it real. My brother was murdered when I was in high school, and that's what my fear of caskets really came from. And I told Stephanie and them, I said, I don't know if this is too morbid or too far to go, but this is really where it comes from. That's why I draw into that. Like, I hate caskets because I think of seeing, you know, my brother in that. And that was, I mean, I think that's what made it so believable, because it came from somewhere real. And I mean,
was it a random murder, or was it?
Well, my brother wasn't doing the smartest and best things drug-wise, and the people you befriend in that world aren't always your friends because they're not functioning with an optimal level brain, you know, when he was involved with heroin and stuff. And, you know, it was a tragedy, man. But I mean, you know, that's where the fear of caskets come from. And I mean, and it's like, well, why would you, I think anybody has a fear of a casket to be put in one before you're dead. I mean, if you're dead, it's okay, you know, unless you want to be cremated. But, you know, I'm claustrophobic, number one. There's no room in the casket, and they used to mess with me because we did the casket matches at some house shows and overseas to work on it before we did it. And I'd put a bottle of water in there to try to have, because I'd be blowed up from wrestling. And they'd take it out, and then they'd sit on the thing when they roll it back in the back and not let me out. And I'd be like, you know, if you're claustrophobic, that's like, you're like flipping out. Yeah. But it was just ribbing, you know. But but it wasn't to me when I'm in the casket, you know, because there's not a lot of room. It wasn't like some of the caskets they had at some of his matches were bigger and more elaborate and ornate. Like mine was just like the you know, the dang generic version, metal.
Wow. And is it true at one point they were thinking of having you and Snitsky team up against him?
You know, I don't know if it's for sure, but me and Snitsky worked Kane and the Undertaker at the Hawaii house show and Alaska house shows. And I thought it went, I mean, it seemed magic to me, because me and Snitsky, I thought we had like a cool chemistry, because he's nuts, you know, not my fault, and I'm writing poems, and he's like telling me it's gonna be okay, John, you know, like two monster guys sitting there almost like two big children, you know. And you know, like at the Rumble, he came out, you know, he came out to beat down the Undertaker, and then Kane came up and cleared it out, and I ended up losing. But I would have hoped, I never got to work WrestleMania. I did the Battle Royal, but I wanted to work the Undertaker. That would have been the culmination of almost a whole year of two, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. Then I interfered in 2 of the championship matches with Taker. And that would have been like, man, I was disappointed, needless to say, but that's their choice. But I think that would have been cool if me and Snitsky, we could have gone, I think, down the line and done a bunch of stuff, kind of like Kane and The Undertaker, But yeah, that was a rumor, and I think Randy started working The Undertaker at Mania in Los Angeles, and they worked they had tremendous matches. I mean, Randy's phenomenal. He can do a lot of stuff that I can't, but he can't act crazy and write poems. No, I'm just joking. Randy's phenomenal, but yeah.
I hope same size as The Undertaker, or closer to The Undertaker's size. Either you were like...
I'm
not saying that wasn't a good feud.
No. Well, I mean, everything I've heard from fans, and it's always been a lot of positive stuff, the feud I had with The Undertaker. And of course I love it because I was working him or wrestling him. And a lot of people said the things that happened in those matches, the things he did was out of respect and admiration. He was wanting to help me because he saw somebody with potential. You can tell by the way a top guy like that sells and does things for you, and that will elevate you from here to here. If you went out there and fought The Undertaker and you didn't beat him, but man, you pushed him that automatically brings me to another level, that's why I say I'm grateful for him. But I had so much fun with him, I mean, I don't know. You want me to share one actual match story with The Undertaker?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Because I get carried away. I'm like, am I talking too much?
No, people love hearing about The Undertaker.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Italy house show. Okay, with me and The Undertaker, and I'm nervous. And The Undertaker. Thank God I was trained at OVW where you learn how to work and you don't have to call everything out. Because he told me, when you're upside down, it's over. You okay, kid? Basically, that's what we had. Basically, it's when you get the tombstone, it's over. That's all we talked about, right? Which I was like, oh God,
Yeah.
But hey, I'm like, I know he'll take care of me, and he's that good. The match starts out. We do some chain wrestling, and I think I went to hit the rope to give him a tackle or something, and the top rope broke. So basically, we can't wrestle like the stuff you normally do. If the top rope's broken, the match is gone in your mind of what we were gonna do. And I just had the deer in the headlights look. I think he had fallen down, and he was like looking at me, and I was like frozen. He's like, kick my ass, beat the hell out of me, It's easy now. But that was like DEFCON 50s, whatever. To start the match nervous and have the rope break. When a rope breaks, it's like ping, that sound. It's like, oh, F, I don't want to cuss, but it's like, holy shit, what do we do now? But it was cool. We modified everything and had the match. But
and you wrestled them on tribute to the troops too. What's it like going was it Afghanistan at that time?
Yeah, that was a life-changing experience by far, man. Because my father was military, wanted me to go to Air Force Academy, wanted me to follow that, but I was just too nervous and didn't want to. But wars are horrific. Any war that takes place is horrific. So many lives are killed and wasted. It's a shame that humanity has to resort to that, but they do happen, and you have to. I don't care if you hate wars or against America or terrorism or what, but the people that go there, they're football players and actors and teachers and football. I mean, I didn't mean to put teachers, but they get a lot of notoriety and fame. But a soldier gives the ultimate thing. He gives his life, and going over there and meeting them and just being there for a few days. Like anytime I meet a military or policeman I thank them, number one, and I'm like, you're the ultimate hero, So that was like, it wasn't just a wrestling show. It was like a life-changing experience being there, because it's dangerous everywhere over there, the terrorism deal. So man, it was mind-blowing experience. It's dangerous, Yeah. And me and Taker wrestled, and it also was like 30 degrees in the winter there, and it was January, December. I'm like, and in the summer it's like 100 and something. I'm like, well, that's bad. Maybe that's why there's such a uneasiness here with temperature extremes like that. Maybe you know, but it was crazy. But
and you wrestled outside too.
Yeah, it was cold as heck, and
with no shirt.
I was supposed to bail out the ring and go nuts and run off through the crowd and like, you know, and the soldiers wouldn't let me. They would not let me get out that ring. So it was a count out, you know.
Yeah.
But we had a good match, man. It was awesome. I mean, yeah, and just the troops, just the picture of all the soldiers and stuff, it was awesome. I felt like I did something to help support them and help them because, you know, they're over there away from their families and some of them don't make it home, you know. So it was cool. The USO is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?